Hello, 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 everyone. And welcome back to Themeathon. We have Alex and Ignis here who is going to show us Resident Evil 5 co-op. So introduce yourself and then tell me when to start the timer.
Hi everybody, hello, my name is Alex,
And I'm AudioIgnis.
and we will present you Resident Evil 5 on amateur difficulty with 1-1, and also it's going to be a New Game Plus speedrun, so we will have the best equipment already selected. And the timer will start in just a second. Timer starts right now. Oh. So, this is Resident Evil 5. We're playing as Chris and Sheva, and our main objective right now is to crash a bioweapon deal by Irving. For that we have to meet up with Reynard Fisher, not Sam Fisher, and we're on the way to that. So Chris and Sheva are from the BSAA. That stands for what is it again? Bioweapon, biosecurity, assemblance, something. And yeah, so we're just crashing a bioweapon deal and have to take care of some routes first. So we're walking to there, and surely, like in any other Resident Evil, nothing bad will happen ever in the intro. And as you have seen, there are some doors. So there are co-op doors like this one, and then there are single doors, which only one person has to open. Like this. And in this game we also have a small optimization where one person is opening the door and the other one tries to squeeze by. And since Sheva's hitbox is a little bit slower, or smaller, she will just run past Chris while I'm opening the door.
Come in, Kirk. The locals were hostile and we had to use
And surprise, surprise, the crashing didn't work out, and now we are trying to escape.
But your orders still stand.
What does that mean? Was HQ expecting this?
Come on!
Okay, so the locals were hostile for no good reason. So at the beginning we just saw just regular NPCs walking around, and now they turned into some zombies. And the reason for that is that the company who is treating those people, they told them that they have all a disease and they will take care of it. That they don't have to worry about anything, but secretly they're just doing some human experiments on them. And also the first big trick is coming up. Ignis, can you explain what you're doing?
Oh, I missed it, but right there, I basically tried to shoot a rocket down at Chris's feet to shoot him into the cutscene. It saves like a second of time in the overall run, unless I miss it.
And the thing is, there's no real danger to it, so even though I'm dying basically in the cutscene, Sheva is going to be teleported to Chris, and then she can basically instantly heal or resurrect him, and that works on any difficulty. Right now we are standing at certain locations. Right here, I'm standing right here to freeze those Magini. This is the right term for the enemies, not zombies, but Magini. And I'm freezing those two over here so that whenever the executioner comes around the corner, you'll get aggroed over there onto Ignis a little bit faster, so that the door is going to be opened, or the gates are getting opened a little bit faster.
And I'm just standing over here to clear out enemies and wait for that time, basically.
Yeah. This whole mission is basically one giant timer. You don't have to really do anything, you just have to trigger one timer, then the second one, and that's the whole chapter actually. For this reason, it's usually skipped in a marathon environment.
Kirk, come in! The locals are hostile! The gate is sealed, and we're trapped! We need backup, and we need it right now.
Roger that. Just sit tight. I'm on my way.
Did you hear that, Sheva? Help's on the way.
Got it. I just hope he gets here quick.
So I'm freezing one more. It's like then the executioner arrived, and he is actually pretty fast this time.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
And also, since we're playing on New Game Plus, you might see that Chris isn't looking like Chris right now. I'm wearing a skin, and this skin is very special just because it has sunglasses. And as weird as it sounds, but sunglasses block the effect of flashbangs, so that I can just shoot flashbangs at my feet and not get affected by it. This will be very useful for some tricks in a few chapters. I was grabbing the SMG, which will be useful for only one trick in like an hour-ish. Ignis has ran to this spot.
Basically, what I'm just doing here is getting the enemies to fall down into this crevice. They think that by us walking forward that we're down there, so it makes all of the enemies run there. That way we can keep our DA lower without having to kill any enemies, and also so we don't get hit at all.
Right, and DA stands for difficulty adjustment, meaning that the better you do in a game, the more difficult it gets. And the worse you do, the easier it gets, and this will be very useful for a certain boss in 2-3, El Gigante or Endesu in this game. And we try to have it as slow as possible for it to one cycle. But also, since we have a huge ping difference of like 300 milliseconds, if I recall correctly, our DA calculations are a little bit messed up, so we are not attending certain optimizations. And furthermore, there's another trick that is called boosting, and this requires a low ping as well. And 300 is a little bit too high for that. Usually you need at least or at most 100 milliseconds of a difference. And then you can basically push each other's hitbox a little bit, so then you double step sometimes, making the characters basically walk faster. And this is all we do in this chapter. We're just standing in this corner. Whenever we weren't considering DA, we were standing on the roof and shooting some Magini from the roof, or we were trying to shoot rockets at our feet just to get the time by. Also, the executioner is just walking and searching for us, but since he can't climb anything, he's just patrolling the lower ground there.
Kind of stuck. Unfortunately, there is no skipping this section at all because this is after the executioner opens the door on a, I don't remember the exact time, but it is on a timer.
Like 4 minutes and
there's
18
no way to
seconds or
skip it.
something.
Yeah, something like that.
We have 1 more minute left. Also, on this difficulty, you don't really need to pick anything up besides the SMG, this one, for one chapter. On higher difficulties, you can also just scavenge some herbs, then combine them and get more potions or healing stuff, but we don't really need it.
Typically only in like higher difficulties are we really concerned with health items. In amateur, it's only an issue if we get into yellow, so we can usually take a few hits.
Right.
Before having to worry about healing.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
There we go.
I'm gonna take out the door. Find some cover.
So this was 1-1, and for this exact reason, usually people skip this chapter for marathons, but now we move on to the main game, so to speak.
Chris, Sheva, it's almost time for Alpha
We will attempt some boosting, but this will be a rare occurrence.
I'm going on ahead. We'll meet up there.
Otherwise, the bioweapon deal got crashed, but for other reasons. And now we're just trying to extract from this village slash area. And as you have seen, sometimes I'm opening the door and Ignis squeezes by me so that she can trigger certain cutscenes or triggers. And this is making the speedrun a little bit faster. Like every squeeze by, basically, we can save up until or up to like 5 seconds or something. So every door has to be opened right. So the next optimization is coming up, where I will stand beneath this ladder right over here, aim right here, shoot the rocket, and with this rocket I will destroy a lock, and kindly enough an NPC will open the door. We called her Dora the door opener right over here. There we go. Awesome.
Time for a quick donation. We have 10 euros from me, who says, Boulder? I heard Boulder. I want Boulder. We like boulders. And that means boulders are 5 euros ahead now from the normal speedrun ending.
Nice. So Alpha Team died under some circumstances and cannot extract us, so we have to escape through the village a little bit differently. And the BOW, or bioorganic weapon that got sent onto them, will be shown in just a minute. That we will reach the basement first.
Come on!
Okay,
Come on!
Roger.
By the way, we were boosting quite a bit there.
Nice.
There's no real need for me to pick up any gold, but since I'm very poor in this game, I pick up almost everything. So this is the... Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say we split up there for me to go and pick up the key. Chris stays behind to trigger the cutscene so that we automatically start with this monster fight.
And in a casual playthrough, you usually alert into the furnace and then just burn to life, but it is a little bit faster to just shoot a rocket at him. So we did this.
Come on! Come on!
Roger.
And this was this chapter. And also, every single time whenever we are saying, hey, this chapter wasn't that bad, we get a gold split. Same goes for this chapter, which is a gold split by almost a second.
Nice. That chapter was really clean.
Yeah.
Come on!
But we're just focusing a little bit to dodge the Magini and also shoot the claymores on the walls. You're ahead on my screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
So up here, a Mangini and a dog will spawn. I'm just gonna shoot a rocket to clear them out of the way so that way they don't body block us, basically. I did stun myself.
And right now we will be introduced to Magini driving a truck, trying to crash into us. In a casual playthrough, you usually just shoot the barrels. What we are doing is we're shooting a rocket and shooting the barrels to make the Magini in front of us do some animation so that they walk up. Then we can shoot another barrel and just clear the whole area here. My screen, you're also ahead? Oh,
Yeah.
I am ahead? I have no clue, but you just
I'll
shoot
shoot
the dog?
Yeah. We shoot that one dog there because that one will, like, get us stuck. So, it's the only one that gets in the way. So whoever's in front usually tends to shoot that one.
On my screen, you're teleporting all over the place.
Yeah, my game's a little slow.
My God.
Right, and of course, we didn't have life rounds for the pistol to shoot the dog. We exchanged them to sleeping darts, of course.
Of course, of course.
Right. And if we shoot more dogs, they can unintentionally speed up a little bit so that we get blocked. And sometimes if we just shoot one dog, we can get a dog boost that we reach the door a little bit faster. Right here I just shot a rocket at the corpse to drop a key, which Ignis just picked up. And we just split up. I open the door in the cutscene. Now she's back to me, and we continue. I'm not sure if we are actually boosting right now, just because you were very close to me. Also, we got a little bit lucky there by not having additional Magini spawn in, so that we can just sprint to the
Roger.
door here. And the next door is going to be a left door and not a right door, by the way.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can squeeze by Chris a little bit easier as Shava if you run by the right side, and sometimes by the left side.
And most of the doors are the right, but that door specifically is left. Here I'm just going to be clearing out some genie up ahead that would block Chris. He's going to be doing the grenade skip, which I'll let him explain.
So basically throw some grenades and I get body blocked by this guy. This is, of course, intentional. Of course. I throw a grenade over the wall to break a lock, and this saves over a minute compared to the casual run. Right here I just swapped the rocket launcher for no good reason. And then because of that time save, we can just sprint by without doing some co-op interactions, where Shava gets thrown over a gap by Chris to walk down the building to then shoot the lock. Right here, the game introduces quick time events, or QTs in short, and usually you have to input precise buttons. But for whatever reason, Resident Evil 5 doesn't care about it, and we're just spamming literally every single possible input simultaneously, and then we can just ignore all of the QuickTime events. Spamming everything. By the way, table coming up.
Thank you.
So even though we have an unhealthy amount of hours in this game, we still run into a certain table, losing us like 2 seconds every single run, if nobody mentions it. So yeah, we need this reminder every now and then. Sleeping
I
claymores,
need
of
the
course.
reminder every single time. Up here, I'm running up ahead of Chris. There is just a few claymores that we will run into going down this little mine trail here. It gives me a time to pull out the gun that I need for the next section, which is just a flash grenade. That'll use to stun some enemies here.
Usually you pick up the lantern at the beginning and then you run through the mines, but this is a little bit slower. You're saving roughly 1 or 2 seconds by just sprinting through the dark, only having visual indicators like other Magini and some sound cues. Just a little bit too close. Nice.
here we're approaching levers. We're gonna have to like go to 2 different ones. Chris is going to turn the first one here. I'm just going to stun the enemies for him so they hopefully don't come and attack him, and run up to the next lever to turn while he fends off the rest of the enemies.
Go. Oh.
My game is lagging a bit.
After this chapter, or whenever I'm in a cutscene, I will just close some tabs. I think it's because of me. The Magini were very slow right there. Usually we just shoot them, but for DA reasons we keep them alive and only kill the most necessary ones. And they were just standing still basically on my screen. So lore-wise, we found Irving, but he escaped because he got saved by a mysterious figure in a rope. And like Chris was saying, he escaped, but we are going to track him down. Also, I think I forgot to mention this, but in the chapter before the table boss, in a cutscene, Josh was introduced, and Josh is part of the Delta team, and also Sheva's mentor, and he's helping us to track down Irving. Right here I did a tactical reset, or checkpoint reset, where I was running in front of Sheva, and to teleport Sheva back to Chris, we're restarting a checkpoint. But here we're just taking a precise line to not get hit by the Magini. They just nuke themselves apparently. Okay, sure. And in just a few seconds the first main boss of the game will be introduced. Flying BOW, or second actually, boss. I will stand on this corner, aim right over here, shoot a rocket, and ideally... Awesome, okay, so the BOW got hit in the cutscene and instantly killed, and that saved us roughly 10 seconds. And then we are coming up to the most exciting and absolutely not boring chapter of the game, which is an auto-scroller where we have to just wait until we reach certain checkpoints and then just shoot at some Magini. Optionally.
There's a high probability that Irving is on his way to an oil field in the marshlands. We're rejoining Delta Team and heading there now.
And because we're trying to keep our DA low, we typically try not to kill as many of them as possible.
Right, instead we're shooting at the Molotovs or axes or whatever they throw at us. This also increases our DA by, of course, but it is not as bad as actually shooting the Magini.
This is Captain Stone, Delta Team. I just received word from HQ. Based on the data you uploaded from that hard drive.
Right, we are just shooting those trucks because we have to in order to progress. And now we're back to shooting the throwables. We get damaged here, this is not an issue because we have a very large amount of health. Even though on... also on higher difficulties we can just ignore the Magini. And just shoot the throwables unless they just like all the time. The only thing that you have to actually pay attention to is the quick time events sometimes, and also the trucks, and that's about it. I don't see any Molotov guys. There we go.
One on the right.
So this is also a perfect time to read some donations if there are any.
I missed one.
If we're reaching critical health or almost critical health, we should maybe pay or consider shooting some Magini. The next section.
Yeah.
We're under attack. There are too many of them to handle. Reinforcements are en route. Hold your position until they arrive. Repeat, hold your position.
Pick up the pace.
Okay. Didn't see that.
Look out for the warning shots. Take them out for God's sake.
Okay, we're almost over with this part, so we don't have to pay attention as much. Now we have to pay a little bit more attention.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Jeez, okay. It's fine, it's fine.
Putting it
You got a
close.
checkpoint, it's fine.
As long as TNT die doesn't kill us here. Now we're good.
It's fine, it's fine. You still have a little bit of HP, this is enough. As long as it's larger than 0, it's all good. Okay, we will also change the FPS from 60 to 30, so that Endesu will... more shots will be registered onto Endesu. Okay, I will change it in just a second after those guys.
I've already changed it.
Awesome, okay. Change it as well. It's fine, see? Not
No
close at
one
all.
HP.
So this is Endesu, or El Gigante, and he is a little bit annoying on this difficulty because it is possible to one-cycle him, meaning that there will be only one phase of him. In the worst case, there are 2 cycles, where we have to shoot those Plaga twice. Unlucky. Plaga or the other thing? Gotcha. So this is the weak spot of him. Giant Plaga on the back. And we just hope to have a low enough BA that his health pool is smaller. Which is unfortunately not the case this time. But we will have to 2-cycle him. Meaning that we will just shoot the Plaga again. Awesome. I'm almost overheated.
Same. Nice.
To fight the overheating problem, you can not only hold the left mouse button, but just also tap it, and that's just almost as fast. But yeah. So this was Endesu. And then we will move on to my personal, actually favorite level of the game. The boat level. And I will be concentrating a little bit more, and meanwhile Ignis will talk. Or explain what we are doing.
Okay, so in this level we're going around to find different emblems to insert into a door. Chris said, or Alex said, he's going to be driving the boat as Chris. He's currently changing his FPS back. My stuff is still lagging a little bit. And it's best to drive the boat at about 60 FPS. I'm going to change mine really quickly as well. So this first area that we're heading to is one of the tribal areas. This is the group that found the flower originally, and they had been being tested on with the African division of Umbrella Corporation.
Trisol.
This Tricell, my apologies. And up here, I'm just going to be moving ahead to grab the first emblem out of the room. Chris is going to clear out the enemies for me, aside from one that I'm just going to kind of bump into.
I think additional Magini spawn to the left.
All good, all good.
Okay.
And what he's doing with the boat here is trying to ride sort of the edge of it, so that way he just continues holding down Shift W without having to stop or slow down at all. That's the goal of using the boat. Whenever we try to drive it, it is not an easy task to do. Up here at this gate, I just shoot that guy who's blocking it. We kind of ignore the rest of them, and we go around these guys here. You can run over them, but there is a chance that they can stun you, so we try to just go past them instead. It could save a little bit of time if we tried to shoot them, but sometimes it can be difficult to get them, and we still might end up running into them and getting stunned. Up here's the crocodile area. Their spawns are random. As to where specifically they'll be, so we just kind of have to play it by ear. That was kind of one of the worst spawns for that specific crocodile. And I'm just going to run ahead. Chris is going to take care of the crocodiles for me so that I can go up and get the third emblem. Up here, I'm avoiding going into that room to trigger some enemies spawning. And just going back around here so that we only have to deal with one of them.
Also, while Ignis is grabbing the emblem or the slate, I'm standing right here to make one crocodile despawn or not spawn at all. Now we move on to the back to the boat. Oh, you're pretty far behind me. Okay, so
Yeah,
sometimes Ignis is way faster or way closer to me, and then she can drive the boat. So we, like she said, have to play it by ear a bit. We have also this section, which is a little bit tricky because there are a lot of approaches on how to deal with the Magini that will spawn in. But we decided we're doing a variation of some struts. So Ignis will take the slate here and jump down and shoot one Magini, so that I can just run past it and shoot some rockets, of course very precisely. Then ideally we can just run past all the genie. Awesome.
Just driving up around this corner. It's typically a little bit faster to go around that corner, so we always try to do it. And then this is where we're going to insert the slates into the door to go into the next area, where we are going to be needing to move a bridge down. Chris is going to go ahead to lower the bridge for me to be able to run across. I'm just going to be trying to clear out enemies as best as I can to keep them off of him.
And very typical for Resident Evil 5. We just scream at each other to hurry up, even though we are standing next to each other, not be able to do anything. Sometimes if you're playing it solo with a companion AI, the companion AI will just randomly start yelling "come on" or "move" or anything, even though you're ahead of them. Awesome.
I won't lie, my cat is causing issues at the moment. Hi, buddy.
But here I just shot some flashbangs to not kill anyone unnecessarily. Even though the DA doesn't really matter a lot right now, still to have it, it's still good to have it as slow as possible. Okay, so the next chapter is going to be a little bit annoying just because we have to spam a lot of buttons for a very long time at least. You're ahead on my screen.
Yeah.
So Shava will jump over a gap and then get on a raft while I will take care of a turning wheel. Also take care of some NPC or a genie. This will be very interesting. Okay, I will start spamming while I'm spamming those two buttons. Shava will, or Ignis will dodge crocodiles on the raft, and also trying to keep me alive. There's a trick where you can hold one button and then spam the other one, which is a little bit faster, and if you have keyboard with light switches, then it's a little bit easier as well, saving maybe 0.2 seconds.
And there I was just spamming all of the buttons. Sorry, I did not clear that guy out for you.
All good.
To get across the raft, so I wasn't just yelling at Chris, but just spamming all of the buttons to get across the raft for those, because sometimes, although most of them are AD and amateur difficulty, sometimes FV can appear. So it's easier just to spam all of them.
While also motivating Chris or the other person to spam faster, of course.
Yes, yes. Of course.
We have reached the oil fields where we will meet up with Josh in just a minute. And speaking of Trisol, there's a little bit of background lore. And yeah, we're like lore-wise, we're still trying to track down Irving. We haven't met him yet. We are pretty close to him. This part, we have to spam buttons again. This time it's not that bad.
Up there, Chris is turning a lever to get rid of this fire here. I'm just going to kind of run up against it to get past the enemies a little bit faster. And pull his first lever. Chris is heading over to the second lever. And we basically just need to get across these to turn the wheels, which will clear the fire out that's just up ahead. Me going down here is going to trigger one of the chainsaw Mangini to spawn, who we're going to use to trigger a checkpoint after we've turned both of the wheels, for us to be able to reset and get to a better position.
So Ignis will shoot the chainsaw machine there. It will trigger a checkpoint like she said, and then I can just reset, teleporting us back to the middle of the map, or of this area, and we can leave a little bit faster. So in this cutscene we were meeting Josh, and right now a timer will start, and we just have to keep Josh alive, and we are of course doing our very best by shooting very precise rockets, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, we're absolutely not spawn trapping anyone. The second part of this area is a little bit more interesting, just because Josh's AI will follow first person, and sometimes Josh is very, very fast, and sometimes he is painfully slow, so you have to check how he will move. So after clearly and obviously shooting precise rockets, we are moving back, and we will do another reset. Just a few seconds.
There! Got it! You two, on the elevator! Come on!
This is a very small optimization, but whenever I will restart the checkpoint, Josh will sprint out a little bit faster, so that he will reach the final door, or the terminal for the door, a little bit faster. Right now he is ahead. And this is...
And
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I'm staying behind just that way I can clear out all of them Genie, because Josh will stop to try to shoot them. So I'm just trying to clear them out of his path entirely, so that way he runs to start pushing the buttons on the panel to open the door as quickly as possible.
It was very fast.
Damn it! Is
Nice.
locked down?
Right now we just have to wait again. There's a small time save coming up where we just watched this cutscene. In RTA, the live event timing method doesn't really matter, but in LRT, the main timing method, you can save like I think 7 or 8 seconds with this. During the cutscene, Josh will continue pressing some buttons on the terminal or in the panel, and yeah. I think everybody should be that. Yeah, seems so.
Waiting at the door, so that way I can open it the second, like, the cutscene ends, basically.
Okay.
Right. So we will reach another co-op door, and then we will split up. Ignis will take care of some mines.
Oh, my
Ignis, you
stuff
disconnected?
got disconnected, yeah.
Hold on, let me just Alt F4 really quick. Then I will invite you back. Usually when this happens, it's better to Alt F4 for everybody and restart the game. It loses some time, yes, but you can't do anything about it. It just happens sometimes. And my game is not starting? There we go, okay.
Resident Evil 5.
Okay, we had a checkpoint. We don't have to continue this. We can continue from the door which got opened. And don't have to wait for 2 minutes for Josh to open them. Awesome. Oh my god, okay.
Wait,
Never mind.
Never mind, it set us all the way back.
Yes. It's working as intended, of course. So we have to replay this section.
Usually these issues don't happen in amateur difficulty as much, but they are run killers.
Yeah, this lost us like just a little bit of time. This would have been a restart or reset. But it was an LRT run, but yeah, just marathon luck.
Yep.
I'm just wondering, so if you're opening the last door, right? So after Chris or after Josh has activated or interacted with the panel, right? Usually there's one checkpoint. I assume it didn't load in for me or something. Did you disconnect
I'm guessing it
before
just didn't
or
load.
after it? After the door opened?
I disconnected before the door opened.
Oh, okay, okay. As a side note, the worst difficulty to play this game on, at least for us, is definitely veteran difficulty, just because everything is breaking. We had the most bugs on that difficulty for no good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, we usually don't talk about veteran difficulty. You get a PB, a
For
decent
some
PB,
reason,
and that's it.
veteran. Yeah, veteran's very unstable, which is odd because it's not even the highest difficulty. Professional runs smoother than veteran. Veteran's just rough, but
This is going to be a pain in the ass, but I will see what I can do.
So we have to wait a little bit longer this time for this chapter to end. After shooting a couple of more very precise rockets, of course, you have to wait more. Maybe if we stand like and watch Josh over the shoulder, maybe he will act a little bit faster. Make him a little bit uncomfortable.
just apply a little bit of pressure to him.
Hey, it worked! Okay, the checkpoint actually didn't load in them as well. Okay. So there's usually one at the beginning of this double door and also here, so sure, okay.
Now here, I'm going around and placing a few proximity mines. They're supposed to be triggered by Mangini, so that way we can basically just continue to run through without them blocking our path. It's gonna break the lock on this door,
Nice.
and the next one should get rid of the 2 claymores up ahead,
You two, we are ready now for pain.
which it did. Nice.
Get over here. Hurry.
And also the dogs didn't body block me.
Perfect.
This is awesome. It's fine. We just lost like maybe seconds. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
So, we found, lore-wise, we have found Irving, and where he is heading towards, he is heading on a boat, and we're just trying to catch this boat of him. This is somewhat also of an auto-scroller. We have to pull some levers to open some gates, and then we just have to go back onto this boat and then just continue. Wait until Josh has driven us off the level. Usually we don't do anything besides like maybe troll around. I sometimes annoy Ignis by just shooting rockets on the floor or flash banging everybody like this. Which I'm immune to, like I said, because of my sunglasses. And yeah,
And only I get to be flashbanged.
DA reasons, of course, of course.
Of course, yeah, for
Of course, everything for the optimizations.
No gold. So sometimes those 2 Mangini that I shoot will drop gold. If that's the case, I usually follow Chris up so that I can grab it, so that way he's not getting stopped on his way back. Just to save a little bit of time. Otherwise, I'm just staying behind on the boat to clear out the enemies that may pop up in the way.
Hmm?
All right, let's go.
Is Josh always this slow at the beginning? Not sure right now.
Get down.
Didn't work right.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know if my game is still being a little laggy or not. It might just be my end slowing us down.
Maybe I should not waste all of the flashbangs because we will, or I will need at least 2 later on.
What are you on for?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. Just the AI optimizations later.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
I can give myself iframes as well. Oh, I didn't mention it, I believe. So whenever we're stun locked in an animation, we have iframes. So if Ignis is, for example, flashbanged, she's invulnerable, and in this time nothing can hurt her, basically. Because Chris has sunglasses, this doesn't work on him. Oops. But what I can do is use nitrogen rounds or ice grenades in order to achieve the same effect. I will use it for one trick, Ignis' favorite trick of the game, actually, Kappa, where we are saving roughly 2 or 3 seconds, but in the worst case we can lose 1.5 minutes. So it is a very high risk, but a very low reward, but it is very fun to perform, at least for me. Yeah, you're right, we are too cool for iframes.
Now here, Chris is shooting at Irving. He's just basically spamming the rocket launcher. You have to spam it like right away in order to skip his first scene and trigger this boss animation. Right there, he tried to get an early kill on Irving. Unfortunately, that one didn't hit. So I stand as sort of a backup down at the bottom. To shoot a rocket into the water, it just automatically kills Irving.
This trick is, for us at least, a little bit luck dependent, but there is a clear lineup, but because of our ping difference, certain parts of the voice lines are being played and some are skipped, so the timing is pretty difficult to find out.
That name Irving said, Excella.
We just go for it, and if it works, it works, and if not, then we have a backup like Ignis said.
Exactly.
It's possible, but I don't have any proof.
Try so. If there is a connection.
More enemies are getting introduced. Not only the genie, but also those spiders. Luckily, those spiders don't have a lot of HP. As a matter of fact, I believe they only have 1 HP. So I can use the flashbangs to just clear all of them. There we go. And in the cutscene earlier, or in the cinematic or whatever, we killed Irving, and before he died, we tried to get as many infos out of him as possible. And luckily, he said that we should just visit local caves to find more clues on what is going on in this village and also who is responsible for it. Particularly, he just hoped that we would die in those caves, but because we are Chris and Shava, we're going to survive everything, of course. Nothing bad will happen. Hope so, at least.
Now here, some enemies are... So we got split up whenever the bridge sort of broke back there. Sheva jumps down and there's enemies that are blocking her path. Chris is just clearing out all of those with a rocket launcher so that I can just run straight up as quickly as possible to meet up with them again. And then up here, I'm going to run ahead to trigger a checkpoint, while Chris is going to stay somewhat behind in order to reset it. I'm just going to run past these enemies for now. We're just basically getting rid of all of the enemies that are behind us, but the ones in front of us will stay. And we're just going to take them out with a simple rocket.
Just as every other rocket, very precise. Oh. There we go.
And then turning this wheel is going to spawn 4 giant fireballs that are just going to block our path. They have a few different random animations. There's 4 of them that I am aware of, and we're going to hope that we get a good one, which we did.
Nice.
And we just need to run past it here. Step on this thing and Then that gets rid of all of those.
So now we are in this section where usually we would need to input very precise buttons for this QTE. But like I mentioned before, we're just spamming every single button so that we don't have to pay a lot of attention.
However, here to get one specific animation at the very end, I am trying to spam the buttons a little bit slower than Chris so that Sheva falls down here, which I did not do apparently.
How fast are you spamming those buttons?
Not very fast. Apparently too fast though. But we like to get the animation for Sheva to fall down instead of Chris because it is a little bit faster for Chris to pull Sheva up than Sheva pulling up Chris.
Come on!
On this section it is very beneficial to boost each other so that we are sprinting through this area a little bit faster. Can you slow down just a tiny bit? Okay, nice. Oh. This way we minimize basically the time that we need to reach those levers. Especially in solo, this is a very boring section. Because you have to go to one lever, command the companion to interact with it, and then you have to walk back and interact with the other lever. Then you have to usually wait for the companion to interact or actually interact with the lever.
Section.
So we will try to squeeze by those guys. Nice. Also very
And
nice.
in amateur difficulty, it's very easy to pass by the enemies because they're so slow. In higher difficulties, we do have to usually clear them out of the way.
This time they were extra slow actually, so some of them
Yeah.
turned whenever I was past them.
Now at this lever, we do get split up, so I stay up here to pull this one. Chris is going down there where more enemies will spawn. I just get one spider to spawn here. And for the most part, we're just trying to run around the enemies. And we are now approaching another mini-boss.
This mini boss is a little bit weird, I would put it like that, because the amount of rockets that it takes is very inconsistent. Just because on amateur difficulty it might need one, but maybe also three for some reason. And same goes for professional, it always requires at least two, but it can sometimes be just one rocket, but also sometimes four. So yeah, and you're way ahead of me. Okay, go. This time this was nice. So we only required 2 rockets. Kill it. This time I didn't get false inputs and kill Ignis on accident, or by accident. Which is always very good, because I got a little bit nervous there.
Split up again, we're going to grab emblems again to open the door. Chris is going to the left to grab the first one, while I'm just dodging the beam of light that will be in not quite insta-kill, but a lot of damage if we get hit by it. So he's grabbed the first one. I'm running over to trigger a checkpoint here that he's going to be waiting to reset. And it's going to bring us both over here to this side for me to go up and grab the second emblem.
While she's grabbing the second emblem, I'm trying to outrun this timer. reaching this bridge. I got it. Awesome.
Nice.
Otherwise, I would have wasted like 15 seconds or something.
And resetting that checkpoint again brings me back up beside Chris. He's gonna go and grab the third emblem, and I'm gonna go head to the door so that way we can just start inserting them right away.
Waiting for the checkpoint to reset after 2 emblems, and then we can insert the final one. Or Sheva is going to insert the final one. Meanwhile, I'm swapping my weapons. It is unclear why it is better for Sheva to insert the final state, because her animation is cancelable, and this is not. So whenever I insert the final state, it takes a few seconds longer for me to be able to control Chris again. That's why Sheva is doing it. And we're coming up to the best trick of the game, where I will turn a mirror, interrupting the laser, which is always an insta-kill. Meanwhile, Ignis is over there. I give myself some iframes and it didn't work out. But it shows how much time we will actually lose if it goes south. So, I'm dying. This takes a few seconds. And then we have to walk down.
Unfortunate.
Then we have to walk this path again. Then turn the lasers, go through the cutscene, etc., and try it again. There we go.
I think it doesn't help that my game is still lagging, so my input delays are a little bit slow, so I turned that a little slower than I usually tend to. But usually that saves, like, I think, did you mention it? 2 seconds
2 or 3
overall
seconds, yeah.
in the entire run, so it's a very high risk, low reward strat.
This time we lost quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
Now on to the final room. We are turning some more mirrors, and then we just have to meet up again, and then we can go to the next level.
Come on!
Yeah, this is also the flower that Ignis has mentioned well, a few minutes ago. This is the flower to heaven, or stairway to heaven, or something like this. And this is also the basis on the viruses that Spencer has his viruses on. Or he is basing his viruses on this flower, and this is basically the origin of a lot of mutations. Right now we are entering a secret laboratory from Trisol and Umbrella, where we will collect as many evidences, or...
This is the facility from the picture. Forgot about it.
Right, to not only collect some evidence, but also to try find certain people to arrest. Opening the door, ideally. Nice. Okay, so Ignis squeezed by Chris. And now we... There are a lot of not only human experiments, but also experiments on animals and whatnot. And there's a new enemy introduced, the Licker, who is also a little bit weird because it can jump attack, it can just crawl and attack, it can do a lot of stuff and hinder us the speedrun a lot.
Thank God there weren't more of them.
Yeah, we wouldn't last in a fight with a whole horde.
Foreshadowing?
Subtle foreshadowing, yeah.
Just a very subtle one. So basically we jinxed this whole area, and now we have to deal with a horde.
Come on!
While I'm standing right over here, Ignis will take care of the enemies.
There is another cutscene that we watch in LRT time. It saves a few seconds because it keeps the levels or the floors of the elevators already gone up from the cutscenes. We're just saving a few seconds by letting the cutscene run.
Right, in this cutscene we will find out that there are a lot of human experiments actually. And Excella somehow found out that we have entered her facility and is trying to take care of us by sending this giant BOW onto us. But with one precise rocket we can just kill it instantly. And in this upcoming section we also find out that Riz' partner, Jill, is still alive somewhere, and she has also been used for some experiments. Luckily she isn't a mutant or anything, but she is being mind controlled by something. But like,
So this was the
I think
facility
Wesker can control her and Excella, but I'm not sure right now. But basically we will try to find her, we will try to find more evidence, and since Wesker's name has been dropped, we will also try to find Wesker and arrest him. Oh, right.
Since they have weapons now instead, the guns, they have a lot easier of a time stunning us than enemies previously would, so we usually like to clear them out, especially in this specific level 5-2. It is notorious for slowing you down by getting shot by too many enemies.
Either kill those enemies or stagger them. In this case we just kill them because it's a little bit faster. And this is also the reason why we're having this pistol specifically, because its ADS time is the fastest by far, and it also deals a decent amount of damage. Alternative would be Magnum, for example, Revolver or a Desert Eagle, but their animation is very, very slow, so we are not using it. Also, I'm way ahead of you. I'll just continue sprinting.
Okay.
We're walking as close as possible next to each other, so that those lickers cannot attack us, stun us, or whatever. And right now we will perform some AI manipulation. I think it's better if you explain it.
Yeah, so basically we are turning around facing backwards, not looking or aiming at the enemies at all. It, for some reason, causes them not to be triggered. They just stand there staring, and prevents any other Mangini from spawning as well, so we can run through without getting shot at all. It can be a little bit slower than just running straight through, but because of the RNG on if you'll get shot or something else staggering you, we tend to use it instead as a little bit safer and more consistent route.
We could maybe squeeze out 5 seconds or something by just sprinting through the whole section, but in the worst case we can get stunned, like you said, multiple times. Even and then we're just losing unnecessarily some time.
Yeah.
The Mangini spawned a little bit earlier. One is on the conveyor belt. I missed the rocket. I missed the second rocket. Okay.
You good? You good?
All according to plan, of course. DA and so on and so forth. Yep.
Of course, yep.
Yes. We need the DA somewhere, I believe, right? So all
Yeah.
good. So Shava is a little bit in front of me, so she will just go to the next lever. Bolt and I will just run behind her.
And after this lever is pulled, we're going to be introduced to one of the worst enemies in the game, I would say.
I'd hard agree, yes.
They are called, I think they're Reapers, right?
Right, yeah.
And they can one-shot kill you if they manage to grab you. They have very precise spots that you have to shoot in order to kill them. Here, I'm just going to run up on the left side, and Chris is going to actually push me past the Reaper, so we could just ignore it. However, they are not invincible to rocket launchers, which we use to kill them instead.
Luckily so, but even though they are not immune to rockets, if you don't hit the Reaper at a precise spot, they can just dodge and roll off the splash damage. So you have to try again. The game is behaving really weird for me right now because you're teleporting back and forth. Sometimes
yeah, mine's
pushing
very
me back.
unstable.
Yeah, this doesn't have anything to do with DA, actually. This is just Resident Evil 5 being Resident Evil 5.
Yeah.
Come on!
Right. So there's another boss coming up. And the casual way is very annoying, and it requires you to use a flamethrower to open up weak spots, and then shoot it, and then repeat it up until it's basically dead. But there's a little bit faster way by just shooting a rocket somewhere, and the splash damage is enough to kill it.
Casual run where you can pick up there's one rocket launcher that you can pick up. It's always my recommendation to use it on that boss over any others, even Western.
Selecting DNA. Doesn't matter what she says. She's just a terrorist.
You mean in 3-1, or which rocket launcher do you mean?
Yeah, the rocket launcher from 3-1 that you can pick up in the boat.
Okay.
Just save it for that boss. That's the best way to do it.
Or if you allow yourself to use the merchant, just buy one, honestly. On this part, I will run ahead. AudioIgnis will take care of some mobs or monsters or Magini in front of me, and some Reapers will be spawned in, but their animations are pretty slow, so I can just sprint past them. Also, all of the Magini are dead.
The left there to turn the power on. I'm gonna stand over here to automatically trigger a cutscene, so that we don't have to wait for this to start moving, this platform to start moving across.
Also, this Reaper that I just killed sometimes spawns a little bit earlier, and if I don't have flashbangs on me, it can just kill me whenever I pull the lever in this little room. And this way I'm just protecting myself basically by wearing sunglasses and shooting a flashbang at the ceiling. And this time I didn't have to do this. Right now we're just waiting again for the platform to arrive. So this section has been optimized by us. Usually one of the co-op runners just runs in front and takes care of all the Magini that will spawn in. But we are doing it a little bit differently. So we are delaying this spawn by just running together the exit, so that we don't have to actually shoot or kill anyone, just have to stagger some of them, and even that is optional. There's maybe one more, right? Just have to stagger it and then just move on. This saves quite a bit of time actually. Or you can just rely on luck and just sprint through the whole area, but it is highly inconsistent. We're reaching this elevator where we have to take it for a few, like 2 minutes, I believe, or something. While we're doing it, just standing still, look at certain spawns from enemies and then just shoot them or clear the enemies as fast as possible, and that's basically it. Well, as you can see, there are a lot of humans here, and those are the genie that got captured and or kidnapped rather, and those boxes for some experiments. And in one of them was actually jail for quite some time. And right now, like I said before, we are searching for her. This was this one that I mentioned. We just shot the one guy holding the lever, and now we move on to a different spot where we will wait until a second one is spawning in, or a second genie is spawning in to hold your lever. And yeah. This time I'm closer, because I have this reference point. Usually we also talk about where we are standing. Usually I'm standing somewhere here or something, and she's standing somewhere here. And yeah, this is a back and forth where we actually have to stand, but this time I'm just standing somewhere.
Definitely. Definitely closer here.
The elevator is almost at the top, and right now we will take care of some genies spawning in a very precise manner. This. And as you can see, a lot of buildings and structures and whatnot are made of anti-rocketium, the material to just tank rocket shots like nothing else. So yeah, we are very grateful for Capcom for implementing this. It would actually be kind of funny if this was destructible like in Battlefield or something. Then we would need to find a way to cross this gap without anything and just reach this double door.
Come on!
Moving on, we are almost at the end of the level. We will split up again. Yes, we'll power up the elevator on the left. We'll take it to the top right over there. And then I will just push one cart while Yes will pick me. And also, this is the birthplace of the infamous Rocket ASMR meme, which Ignis will hopefully also demonstrate. Of course, it's the first one this time. So out of the blue, the first licker just started to punch me a lot faster since like 2 days ago or something it started, and I cannot run past it without getting hit. We have been speedrunning this game for I don't know how long, and just started out of the blue since 2 days ago. And this is the rocket launcher ASMR.
Here, keeping all of the lickers that are climbing up away from Chris while he pushes the cart by killing them.
Right, I'm lowering this bridge so that we can enter the final boss room. Or final boss of this chapter, at least. Thank you for the crystal. You absolutely needed it as well, right? Okay, so there is Wesker and also Jill. We will take care of Wesker first by shooting some precise rockets, or actually precise rockets this time, while Ignis will set up a lineup to hit Wesker a few times. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
7 minutes. 7 minutes is all I can self-righteous fool.
This, usually you have to wait like 7 minutes up until Wesker has done his speech and also search for the players. And right now we have done it a little bit faster. Are you ready?
How disappointing.
Yeah.
Okay. This time we will take care of Jill. Ignis will flashbang her. Nice. While 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 go. So while she's flashbanged, I'm hitting her mind controlling chest piece 7 times. And then we can just rip it off a little bit easier if Ignis is also shooting another flashbang to get a certain animation to make it even faster. So this was this chapter, which went pretty well actually.
Wasn't too bad.
So there are 3 chapters left. And this is also a reminder for the incentive that is running. You can decide between the meme ending or boulder punching ending and the classical speedrun ending. You can decide which one we should play by donating it for a good cause as well. The one my genie just dropped down. So Ignis basically cleared all of the enemies in front of me so that I can just run through the whole area, lining up a shot at the crane to skip part of the mission. We'll stand here, aim right over there, hit a rocket up there, and miss actually. Okay. Hit this guy. This way Cage won't be landing on Chris or Shava, saving us over 3 minutes, I believe. There we go. Also, at the Jill fight, I was using the SMG that I picked up in the very first level. Now I can actually just drop it or discard it and not use it again because I don't really need it. Now, what I might need is actually healing because I'm quite low. So in the next section, it would be beneficial to be full HP again.
Yeah, I might have to run across to get the key card instead.
But in the area which will be first, I think it would be better if I heal myself real quick and then we trigger all the enemies.
Yeah.
I'll heal me at the door.
Okay.
Door.
So
So lore-wise, we have saved Jill. She got her mind back. She is being herself again. So we saved her, and while we are running here, there is DLC for Resident Evil 5 explaining how Jill escaped with Josh together. And I will heal myself in just a second. There we go. So how Josh and Jill escaped. And we have tracked down Wesker meanwhile to this container or boat. Now we are also searching for him. We are trying to deny his plan on infecting everybody on the planet by shooting a lot of Ouroboros rockets, the atmosphere, infecting basically everybody. And his philosophy is that only the strongest will survive, and yeah, he will determine who is the strongest by just killing basically almost everybody. Right, so this went really well actually. I'm in front. Okay. The next enemy will be introduced just right here, which is a Gatling gun genie. It's not a big issue. I'm running past it to past him to go to the second save here to get the second key card. Restarting the checkpoint to teleport myself to Ignis, then we can move on. So we found out that everything is made out of anti-rocatium, but the enemies still don't know about, so they will know in just a few seconds. They're just killing each other with the rockets, besides this guy, sure. And this way we can just sprint by them. And a second one, okay, sure. Usually they're not alive whenever we are here.
Come on!
Okay.
So we have the second last level chapter. So Excella is the current CEO, I believe, of Tricell, and she's working closely with Wesker in order to fulfill his plan of infecting everybody. But in classical Wesker style, he is also betraying. Wesker is betraying Excella by injecting her some Ouroboros, and she didn't receive it really well and mutated to this giant tentacle monster or whatever, and we're just dodging everybody. Or all of the attacks by spamming all the buttons. In the upcoming part, Ignis will line up a very precise shot to take care of multiple tentacles, which will appear from the ceiling.
Son of a bitch.
So now what? You think our weapon can hurt that thing?
I don't know. We gotta get the hell out of here
Nice.
before it destroys this place.
And here Chris is going to shoot a rocket. It's going to stun me, but it's going to make it so that way I can run past that tentacle without getting hit. So that way I can get ahead to clear out that tentacle as well as one enemy back here that has the key card. Chris is going to run right to the door and use the key card that magically teleports to him, and I'm just going to catch up to him.
You received it via Bluetooth. Right, so we're moving on to this final stage of this chapter, where we will take care of Excella. And for that, Ignis will line up some precise rocket launcher shots, and we will try to spawn, kill, or skip the second stage or phase of her by shooting a rocket, which will hit her like this while spawning in. And this was also a quote-unquote a one cycle on her as well. Which was also a gold split. Okay, sure.
Nice.
By a second, actually, which is pretty difficult considering how long or not long this chapter is.
So that's Ouroboros.
Okay, so we have reached the final level of the game, and as a subtle reminder, if you want to, you can donate for a good cause and also decide on which ending we should go for. And I would ask somebody to tell us who won in just 2 minutes.
Exactly. The plane can't get
So in this part we will open... we will have to open some doors, or bulkheads. And in our LRT we're waiting for the cutscene to run out, just because the doors are still opening while the timer is paused, but in RTA it doesn't really matter what we're doing. But by not skipping the upcoming animation, we can also delay some spawns of enemies. There we go, and now we have to wait roughly 1.5 minutes for the one bulkhead to open, then we have to do it one more time. While doing so, we just take care of some enemies here and there. Ideally while also not being hit. That's... Are you shooting already at the other people?
Yeah.
Okay.
So some enemies will spawn on the platform across from us to keep them from, well, not to keep them from spawning, to kill them as they spawn in. I just shoot a rocket across from it. So that way they can't get in our way at all. There's a guy with a grenade somewhere.
Don't see him.
I don't either, I just hear him. I think he's up here.
You're right.
Yeah.
So Magini with grenades are actually the scariest. It's not the ones with a rocket launcher, but the grenades, because the grenades can just fall somewhere or in some cracks and then you cannot shoot it, or while it can kill you. For the second checkpoint, we are waiting for this animation to be over, and then we will just wait until timer is up. So since there's a timer of roughly 1 minute and 30 seconds, we are either, to be honest with you, goofing around or giving each other items or just roam around just to get the time pass. So if there are any donations to read out, then this would be the perfect timing.
No, but I can tell you that the boulder ending is winning.
Nice, very nice.
Nice.
So you can go for that one.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, thanks to everyone that donated towards that.
Thank you guys. So right now we're just waiting for the bulkheads to open, then to chain, not chainsaw, but chain gun or Gatling gun. Magini will spawn in, and we will take care of them with a very, very precise rocket launcher shot, of course. This. Then we will enter or fight against Wesker, or one stage of him, at least. And Wesker is a little bit tricky because he can have adaptable AI, as we say sometimes, and just behave like he wants to. But what I will try to do is I will shoot a rocket right over here. He will aggro onto me, and then ideally spin kick, or do a spin kick that I can shoot him mid-air, basically. And we can stagger him and insert some his drug onto him, overdosing him, making him go even more insane. This way we can actually not capture him, but kill him this time.
Will be released into the atmosphere.
Or QTEs.
And ideally we do that first section in one cycle on amateur, but Wesker is Wesker.
Yeah. A dramatic scene where Chris remembers what Jill has done to save him, and he doesn't want to repeat the same mistakes, so he's grabbing Shava's arm this time, saving her. And right now we're in an active volcano, actually, and are trying to fight Wesker. So since we are going for the boulder punching ending, so first off we will be split up. Second of all, we will run to certain spots.
Start by running across here so that way I can trigger Sheva to fall and do this QTE section. for her to be able to climb up here. In the meantime, Chris is distracting Wesker so he doesn't knock Sheva off of this cliff.
But he will right now just jump over the gap and will lock onto Sheva. But ideally, you have climbed up, right?
I hope so.
Hope so as well. Otherwise, oh,
Yes,
awesome.
yes,
Okay.
I have.
And right now, you can see on my POV that I will punch a giant boulder into an active volcano.
Talking about punching a boulder, we got a 10 euro donation from Luke who says boulder punching time.
Let's
got
go.
shots. Nice. Alright, and also if I stand over here, there's a small animation where Chris saves Sheva a little bit, and we can move on.
And you're going to judge us? You get all your ideas from comic book villains?
Now we are moving onto this platform again to figure this. We're waiting for Wesker to perform a tornado attack. This. Just sneaking around him to grab onto him in just a second. There we go. While I'm doing this, Sheva can either punch or shoot him. Punching is a little bit more brutal, so we're going for this. Also, apparently Sheva hits me as well. Awesome. So, this was also Resident Evil 5, and the timer ends whenever we are done with this QTE. And with this, Resident Evil 5 is over. Okay.
Awesome. GG.
GG's.
It was a pretty good run, actually, in my opinion.
It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you very much for running. And Alex, you are also running Resident Evil 8 right after
Yes.
this. So thank you
In a bit,
very
guys.
much. Bye bye.
Bye.